The movie begins in a dried, vast, and drought-stricken land in Texas. A young voice tells the story of her brother, Eugene Evans. Some people arrive at the land. They spread and began building a new life, praying for rain and making the best out of the dried land. But there is a man called John who lives in the land. He doesn't buy into any of these theories or dreams, but believes there is a better land where he can live his dream. He kept nagging, causing a nuisance to the family until he left. This man is Eugene's father. At such little age, Eugene's father's absence affected his life severely and even later. He only had one card sent by his father from Mexico to hold on to. Olivia, his mother, tried to fill the absence in Eugene's life by marrying George Baker a year later, who is a lawman. George Baker tries his best to be a good father to Eugene by instilling fear and discipline and filling the emptiness that was created when Eugene's father left. When Eugene clocked 17, the land became aggressive and toxic to not only them but others living in it. Heavy storms raided the land, and dust blew into people's houses, wreaking them apart like a hurricane. 14 storms hit the land in the first year. It was so severe that the more they tried to replace the loss, the worse it got. To crown it all, the banks were coming for their payment. Some preachers used this opportunity to preach about God's salvation as a way of redemption. While others sought a means of escape and comfort by praying, Eugene spent most of his time in the farmhouse reading his books and dreaming about it. It turns out that in one of the books he read, The Outlaws, became a reality in Eugene's life. Eugene and his friend Joe stroll along a shop that sells books and beverages. They gradually observe the owner, an old man who appears to be sleeping, before smartly stealing some stuff from his shop. While Eugene took another book, his friend made away with an apple. They ran away once they had it in their palms. As they celebrate and stroll, they see some people gathering and listening to the sheriff. The sheriff was saying something about a bank robbery. He was informing the people of a bank robbery that just took place and the casualties involved. According to him, during their raid on a bank, a woman called Allison Wells killed a 9-year-old girl and 4 other people. A bounty of $10,000 was placed on her to be taken by whoever found her. Just as he was done and about to go, Eugene asks a question. He asks if the bounty was real, but the sheriff skips his question, asking about his family before dismissing him. Eugene and other people searching for Allison Wells meet in a church before taking off. Olivia tells him to come home before it's dark before letting him go. As Eugene strolls with Joe, suddenly his friend's mood turns sour. Eugene noticed it and asked what was wrong. With a little persuasion, he was able to get Joe to tell him what is wrong. His friend's family would be leaving Texas for California. His father informed them in the morning. Eugene asks if they were coming back, and he responds, "Forever, they are never coming back to Texas." Eugene returns home late, causing his mother to complain about his lateness. She asked him to get home before dark earlier and he has just disobeyed. Nevertheless, she informs him that his stepfather George wants to see him. Eugene meets his stepfather, who advises him to obey what his mother says, as that's the key to moving the family forward. He scolds him for getting a book by stealing, and makes him understand he won't let him do what he wants like his mother. George knocks on Eugene's door, to tell him he has to sleep. When George closes the door, Eugene opens his window, and sneaks out to the farmhouse to continue reading his book as usual. As he enters the farmhouse, he sees blood on some bandages lined to the tractor. Surprised at what he is seeing and trying to make something out of it, he sees a gun pointing at him. A lady behind the tractor points the gun at him and asks him to stay still. When she sees he is still, she throws the gun on his feet to build trust. Eugene recognizes her as Allison Wells, the lady the sheriff talked about who killed a 9-year-old girl and sent 4 others to the grave. He tells her she's a killer, but Allison Wells is wounded and in pain, rejects it, saying she's not a killer. She promises to tell Eugene what transpired after treating her. Eugene gets the items to treat her wound, and to at least administer a first aid treatment. He screams when he sees the wound and advises her to get a doctor. She says no instead. She calls Eugene her doctor and directs him on how to remove the bullet. Allison tells Eugene her story. She lost her parents and the bank took all they had. This was her way of getting back at the bank for what they did. This robbery is her 4th and the first with casualties. Eugene buries his cloth to avoid suspicion and enters the house. His sister Phoebe stops him, but he commands her to be quiet while he sneaks to his room. The next day, he takes his mom's blue cloth and gives it to Allison. Allison asks how he got it, and he says it's his mom's. His mom doesn't wear the cloth much, so she won't notice it's gone. Allison accepts the cloth. Eugene leaves the farm to allow her change but peeps at her from a hole in the door. Phoebe sees him and asks what he is peeping at. He dismisses her by saying it's 2 dead dogs. Eugene meets Joe and asks for his family's truck, promising to send him money later. His friend rejects the offer, as his family is relocating with it next week, and he can't afford to make such a foolish decision. Phoebe stares at the farmhouse from her room muttering, "Two dead dogs." She suspects something is not right and goes to see for herself. As she enters the farmhouse, she sees materials stained with blood. Allison notices someone is in the farmhouse, and hides behind the tractor with a sickle. As Phoebe comes closer, she prepares to attack. But the noise in the background scares Phoebe and she runs away. Eugene enters the farmhouse with food. Allison asks about his progress on getting a car, to which he responds negatively. She complains about her state and yells at him in the process. Realizing her mistake, she apologizes. Eugene takes her to a river, so she can bathe and clean up. They enter the water, discussing and laughing. Their stay in the river is cut short when the owner of the land flashes his torch at them. They quickly run towards the farmhouse, leaving a trace behind in the process. Allison slaps Eugene when they got to the farmhouse. Eugene joins his family at a party. While smoking, he overhears his father talking about Allison and his plans to win the money by finding her. Sneaking to his father's jacket and thanks to Joe, he steals the key to the drawer containing the case. Trying to find the case file, he searches 2 drawers and finds it in the 3rd drawer. Reading the case file, he discovers Allison wasn't saying the truth. There was a man with her who died in the raid. He burns the case file in a small fire. Phoebe sees it and meets him. She tells him she knows he is hiding Allison in the farmhouse and promises to keep it a secret. The next day, George sees a piece of Allison's material that got caught in the wire fence while she was running. He picks up the evidence in excitement that he has found something useful to the sheriff's office. He enters the sheriff's office to celebrate his discovery, only to be fired by the sheriff for sending his son to steal the evidence at night, which he didn't do but because Eugene lied he sent him when a police officer caught him with the files. George leaves the office disgraced and with anger, heads to the house to confront Eugene. Meanwhile, Eugene confronts Allison for lying about the man. He admits he is jealous of him as he hands her his watch. Just as they were discussing, Eugene sees his stepfather car heading towards the house. It's obvious the father has found out. He closes the door of the farmhouse and runs to the house. George grabs Eugene on the collar and asks for the document. He beats Eugene up and in the process reveals his father is dead. Eugene doesn't believe this. He believes his father is still in Mexico, and he is going to find him. George tells Olivia to talk to Eugene when she came home, while he goes to the farmhouse in the storm to check on Allison. He believes she must be there. Olivia tries to discourage him, but he is bent on doing it. He wears a mask and heads to the farmhouse. Olivia meets George in his room. She scolds him for taking the files. Eugene asks her if it's true his dad is dead. Olivia admits it is true and tells him contrary to his belief, she reveals his dad kept sending cards, but they were not healthy for him, so she burned them. The cards stopped coming for the past 5 years, making her believe he was dead. That night a heavy storm rocked the place. Eugene saw it as an opportunity and signed to escape with Allison to Mexico. Just before leaving, he bids Phoebe goodbye in her room. Phoebe tries to discourage him, but his mind is already made up. The next day, Olivia asks George to invite Eugene for breakfast. George sees sand heaped on the foot of the door. He suspects something is wrong and opens the door, but Eugene is nowhere to be found. After taking a brief look around the house, he discovers his truck wasn't there anymore, and Eugene left with it. Olivia calls George to hear what Phoebe is saying. According to her, Eugene has been hiding Allison in the farmhouse. Olivia couldn't believe this. She finds it hilarious. Phoebe tells her it's true. She equally tells George where Eugene is heading to. George makes some calls to his friends. He is planning to track down Allison but leaves Eugene unhurt. Olivia expresses worries about Eugene, while George assures her he will be alright. Meanwhile, Eugene and Allison leave in the car. Allison is excited and tells Eugene to pull over and go home. Eugene tells her he is also going to Mexico. After all, he has a family there, his dad. Allison tells Eugene she doesn't love him, but Eugene doesn't react much to this. A police car stops them on the way. Eugene successfully makes him go away, after answering some questions while Allison hides under the car with the pistol. George leaves with his friends to find Eugene unknown to him and Phoebe hides in the boot of the car. Olivia discovers this and tries to call them back, but it's too late, as they've gone far and couldn't hear her. Eugene and Allison stop at a guest house to rest. Eugene pays for a room with his last money. The next day, Eugene and Allison rob a bank. In the process of robbing the bank, Eugene fires his pistol and kills a man who almost shot Allison. Allison drags him into the car, and they speed off. Eugene can't handle this. The guilt of killing someone overwhelms him. The feeling of killing a man was so heavy and broke him so much that he couldn't handle it. He drops off the car, angry and sad. Allison follows him, begging him to come back. She assures him it's nothing much, and he can grieve over it in the car. Eugene isn't interested anymore, as what he did has devastated him. They engage in a short discussion before Eugene leaves while Allison goes after him. Allison asks him if he isn't interested in Mexico again, to which he replies yes, revealing to her that his father is dead in Mexico. George's friend sights his truck, which Eugene and Allison ran off with. They pull over beside it and began looking for Eugene and Allison. George has discovered Phoebe, when she sneezed during the journey, warned her sternly to stay in the car. However, Phoebe won't adhere to the warning and leave the car to find Eugene, when George was out of sight. Eugene tells Allison he isn't interested in Mexico and bids her goodbye. Allison shoots her pistol up, attracting the attention of George and even further revealing their exact location. Allison apologizes to Eugene, and they come back together, but that union doesn't last because George sights them and began chasing them. George shoots and kills Allison. Devastated by this, Eugene picks up the pistol and shoots George in the leg. George's friends try to shoot back, but George orders them to drop their guns. Phoebe tells Eugene to run, which he did, leaving Allison in the pool of her blood. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to watch more videos like this.